Hey guys, welcome to the Knot of the Week. Today we're going to be tying the Crown Sinnet, just like this lanyard pull that I have here. Okay, before I actually go into tying the Crown Sinnet, I want to talk about a couple of different ways to start this. One being that if you're going to put it on a key ring, there's a method I recommend starting it with, which you'll see here. The ring from this lanyard runs through the top and it almost makes an X pattern, and I'll demonstrate how to do that, as well as just a standard way to start it too, so the bottom winds up and looking like more of the cross pattern like this. So first part I also want to mention too is that this is gutted paracord, so when you're weaving the Crown Sinnet with gutted paracord, it gets more of a uniform shape. It makes it look a little bit different. It definitely gives it some straighter edges on the side if you're using gutted paracord, and all that means is that you're taking traditional paracord and pulling the guts out of it and just using the sheath of the paracord. So what we're going to do today is use regular paracord. We're not going to gut this first. So you got two strands of paracord. The length doesn't really matter. It just depends how long you want to make your lanyard at the end. So what you're going to do is take a top strand. If you want to use two colors of paracord, you can. You can use one color too. I'm demonstrating with two colors just so it's a little easier to see. So the top strand, doesn't matter which one you go with, is going to wrap around the standing part. So you got your standing line and your working line. Then you're going to take the bottom strand and it's going to weave itself through. So you're going to come from this side here. Sorry. Keeps wanting to move on me. Take this one and you're going to go over this top and underneath this strand. I'll try to clean this up a little so it's easier to see what's going on. Then you're going to take the bottom strand here and do the same process. You're going to come over that strand and then through this right here. With paracord, it's a little smaller. It can be a little more difficult to see what's going on, but that's really what you're going to be left with here, is kind of that zigzag pattern. And then when you tighten all four strands up, you start to get that desirable pattern that makes the Crown Sinnet. So again, there's two ways to go about it once you get the first wrapping. If you look at the back side, you now have that cross pattern, which I demonstrated here is good for routing a keychain or a lanyard through. So if you're going that route, leave the bottom like that. If you desire something that looks like this on the bottom as well, you can flip it over just like so, and start that pattern again. So weave that through, and as you tighten this up, what once was your bottom is now your top, and the bottom now looks like that, and you can keep going from there, which is what we'll do. We'll go ahead and keep going this direction. So again, it doesn't really matter which way you throw these over. It really just matters where it goes once it's done. So if you want to start this type of direction, all that matters is you continue the pattern. And what I mean by that is if you look at the side, once I get this tightened up, if you look at the side, you've got a pattern that's going now on the side, just like so. So that is your pattern that you're creating. So as this wraps up, you can see it follows that pattern. Pattern then goes like so. Actually, this is going to go on top. This is going to go over. This is going to come over and down. And it may look a little complicated as I'm doing this on screen, but once you're actually creating this for yourself, it'll be pretty intuitive which direction you need to go with these. Because if you don't follow the pattern exactly, then you'll start to lose the pattern on the sides. So that's why it's good to go with two colors of paracord if you're doing this. And this can be done with other rope too, but paracord is really the best for it, just because it's such a small diameter. It works well with this pattern. So I'm just going to do a couple more wraps and then I'll demonstrate the finishing procedure for this. And there's a couple of different ways that you can do that as well. let's go one more, just to get a little bit more of the pattern. Okay, so if that's our last stop here, let's say we've weaved quite a bit of this and we have something that's more along the lines of this length, there's two ways you can go about this. One is you can stop right here. You can tighten this up, and then basically you'd come along and snip each of the working ends and fuse them, just like I have here on this. So those are just trimmed and fused with a lighter. So I've pressed those in as I've trimmed them. Or you can do kind of a rounded finish. So what you want to do to create that type of finish is leave a little bit of slack in the last wrap, and you're basically going to underweave this. So this is going to come under here, and I'm going to leave a little bit of a tail on this because what you don't want to do is you don't want to lose your pattern. So what I mean by that is that last wrap right here that makes that square pattern for the Crown Sinnet, you don't want to lose that pattern. So again, going to come just like this, and then as I turn, this side will do the same thing. Just like this. And this side will do the same thing here. And that already kind of popped out a little bit, but I'll keep going here, and this side will do this. And I know that looks like a big jumble of nothing, but as you start cleaning this up, you'll kind of see a rounded pattern up here. One important point I want to make too on the Crown Sinnet is that you need to keep everything tight as you're weaving it. So you really want to pull these tight before you move on to the next wrap. So that gives you more of a domed like finish, and then you would do the same thing here. You just trim those off just like so, and fuse them to the sinnet. So that's really a traditional crown knot, is kind of the finish that we have here at the end, and then the entire thing is more of a crown sinnet. So that is how to tie a Crown Sinnet. Stay tuned for a new Knot of the Week every Tuesday, and if you're enjoying what we're doing here on our Knot of the Week series, please consider joining the Crew Leader membership linked below in the description. Thanks for watching.